There can be no doubt that Ramazanul Mubarak is a great blessing of Allah Azza wa Jal. And one of the treasures of Ramazanul Mubarak is Taraweeh Salah. This is a beautiful sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallaahu alaihi wa sallam and the blessed companions. Now, standing in Taraweeh Salah, listening to the glorious Quran, subhanallah, it gives you the essence of Ramadan. It's really that feeling that we're in the month of Allah Azza wa Jal, because the month of Ramadan is all about the glorious Quran. When you stood there behind the Imam and you're listening to the beautiful recitation, life doesn't get any better than that. But then we have the nafs and the shaitan, standing for all that time, my knees get wobbly. This is just tricks of the shaitan and the nafs. I'll tell you why. You can play football for a few hours without even feeling tired. You can go for long walks, you can go to shopping centres, you can stand on the street corners and have a gupshup and chill out. And for hours and hours go by before you know it. And yet when it comes to standing in the court of Allah Azza wa Jal, suddenly our mind isn't in it. It's the nafs and the shaitan. But what we need to do is forget that I'm going to enjoy this. If you can, brilliant. If you can concentrate on Taraweeh, listen to the Quran, try and see what the Imam Sahib is saying, read the translation before, all that is brilliant. But say, for argument's sake, you stood there, it's hard, it's toil, it's labour. Well, you're doing it for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. And this is what Ramadan is all about. It's about training you to do things which your body or your soul might not like, but you're doing them purely for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, if there was a sale on, you get brothers who stand in queues for hours. You've got all these restaurants, posh restaurants, where you have to queue outside all the way down the road, and people are fine with that. But when it comes to Taraweeh Salah, oh my leg, and even youngsters. And what really sometimes baffles me is this. You've got 70, 80-year-old buzurg who are stood there listening to the Quran and enjoying the Taraweeh Salah, and they don't feel tired. And yet, you've got the youngsters, I can't be bothered standing for that long. I'm going to find a mosque where they do it quickly. Taraweeh has to be recited beautifully. The Quran has to be read with tartil. It has to be read so that people can understand, and all the talaffuz, all the words are properly pronounced. So simply ticking a box isn't good enough. You're missing out on the barakats, the blessings and the mercies of Allah Azza wa Jal. Find a good masjid, find a good imam who recites beautifully so that it cleanses your heart, mind and soul, so that you feel different. And that hour in the masjid, doing a shortcut, all it'll save you is 10 or 15 minutes. In some masajid, unfortunately, especially after COVID, they've gone from recitation of the full Quran, which was the beautiful sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallaahu and the companions, to just reciting a few short ayah mubarakas. That's not what our pious predecessors taught us. Why find the easy way out when it comes to the court of Allah Azza wa Jal? No, work hard this Ramzan. Make sure that you stand in Taraweeh prayers. If it takes an hour and 10 minutes, so what? You're worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal in the month of Ramadan and you're looking for a shortcut. And when it comes to the blessings and the virtues, you want everything. Come on, it's time to work hard. It's time to make sure that the shaitan doesn't make you lazy. If you miss your Taraweeh Salah without a valid reason, sometimes once in the 30 days, you may have some difficulty. You may miss your Taraweeh Salah in the masjid, but you pray at home. Yes, that's fine, because if you've got some sort of difficulty and emergency. But other than that, make the intention today that inshallah, I'm going to pray all 30, if there are 30 this year, Taraweehs behind the Imam, and I'm going to even stay for the explanations afterwards if your Imam does that as well. And this is the key to Ramadan. If you really want to feel that euphoria, that atmosphere, that environment of Ramadan, fast during the day, keep your tongue moist in the zikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, sending through the salam upon his beloved Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and stand in Taraweeh prayers. That will get you the rewards that you can't even imagine, but also it will get you peace and tranquility inside. Ramzan Mubarak. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.